Good afternoon. This is another one by the man them for the man them. This is in light of everything that's been happening in America, where black men are being shot, killed, murdered, however you want to describe it, and where it appears that there's no justice or there's no reprisals for people doing it, and not having to answer for what they've done, or having to answer for what's happened. Now obviously I'm from London, and we don't have it to that extent here yet. So we don't want it to get like that here, where people are just the police will just shoot and kill you without justification, and without fear of any kind of reprisals. We don't want that here. However, I think that as men we have to think to the future. We have to plan ahead, because we are leaders for our sons and daughters, family members, so I think we have to kind of be aware of something like that could potentially happen years from now. So it's very important to I think equip our children with knowledge, wisdom and experience of how to kind of deal with this kind of situation, scenario. Like I said, I don't think we're in a stage where, apart from Mark Duggan, where in the UK where people are getting shot, and it's to this levels of of America. But yeah, I think it's important. Now what we teach, how we teach it, that's going to be based on each individual. For me, I work with young people aged 16 to 18, and I have a lot of dealing with the police. So I have to speak to police on a regular basis. So I try to kind of explain to them, about the young people that I work with, so that they get like a broad perspective of the characters and the characteristics of young people. So that way it's not alien to them. So that way when they do bump into them on the road, they're not gonna think, okay, they're all the same based on what I've seen on television or the media or the news. I can give them a realistic idea. Just because they all might wear Adidas tracksuits doesn't mean that they're not interested in college, doesn't mean that they're not interested in further education, doesn't mean that they're not, so my role is I think is quite important when speaking and liaising with police. But sometimes like up until now I didn't really think about it like that, that I play an important part. Because if I'm just saying, yeah, he's just a road man, and allow him just take him off the street, that kind of thing, it's just, I'm just perpetuating stereotypes. But the knowledge that I give, or that I think can have an impact, possibly when they might be seen on the road, and they might be able to have a conversation with them, might be able to talk, as opposed to arresting them, or as opposed to treating them in a particular way. Because I think, just like some people have been saying, I don't know about police training. I don't know how often or how frequent it is, but I'm sure there's people who get into the police because the idea that they've been bullied and that kind of thing. So now it's their time to exact revenge. So with those kind of people, I think it's psychological, and I don't think you can help them. But there are other people that get into policing to do a good job. I've come across both. I've come across good, I've come across bad, I've come across ignorant, I've come across I can't speak, come across arrogant police officers. So either way, I try to educate them, and the young people that I work with as well, I educate them of how they can be perceived, how they can be seen, because that's important knowledge to have. I think it's important to know that kind of thing. I also teach them about how to deal with police, to make it in their best interest kind of thing, because it's something that you can't avoid. I mean, there's no point in every time you see in police or book, all that kind of thing, because then they're just gonna look at you and think to yourself, okay, well, what's this guy about, kind of thing. Is he joking? Is he serious? That kind of thing. So I kind of run through different scenarios and situations and that kind of thing. So there's not one. I don't think there's any one particular answer to do with what's happening in America. It is it's a very challenging thing, I think. So as men, we have to kind of step up and say, you know what, we need to educate, and educate everyone, not just our young people, not just our young sons and daughters. I think we need to educate everyone, so that way we have a broad knowledge of what goes on, what happens. I deal with youth offending, I deal with police, I deal with social workers, I deal with counselors. I'm in a position to where I can actually try and give a different perspective that people may not be aware of in their everyday lives, kind of thing. But yeah, I hope that we don't get to that kind of situation where we're getting killed in broad daylight with guns by people who we're supposed to be looking to for sanctity and sanctuary, kind of thing. So that's what I think. Just to keep educating and keeping knowledge and spreading the word, and we as black people, we need to make sure that we speak to each other and share our experiences as well. I think that's important. Sometimes growing up, someone might not have an experience of dealing with a police officer, and they don't know how to deal with it when they come across it. So yeah, I think that's very, very important for us to do that, and give examples of dealing with different kind of scenarios and different situations. And I just pray that it doesn't get to that kind of extent in the UK, because when we get mad, then we just tear down everything, and then we have to start again from scratch, and then we mash up our own businesses, which benefits somebody but not us. So yeah, I think if everyone's willing to kind of put in effort, whether it be marching, whether it be doing vlogs, whether it be boycotting businesses, whether it be I think it's important that we all try to do something. We all try to make an impact. We all try to unify, because the creativity, knowledge and wisdom that we have as a people is amazing. It's unrivaled. It's just that we're not channeling it in the right places. Those knowledge, speak, talk, express, and not just young people. We have to talk to everyone and let them know. It's like a kind of, we need to bring back that kind of community thing where if you go down the road and you see a family member or someone, you can speak to them and talk to them, find out how they are, just show that you care, just show that you're interested in what they're saying, because I think sometimes that's what all people need, is just to let someone know, just to know that somebody out there actually cares. So yeah, I do these vlogs aimed at men around my age, kind of thing, so that way to get us thinking. I don't have the answer to everything, but hopefully this will make you think about alternatives, the different ways to deal with things, or how we can plan for the future, how we can set things up for our kids for the future. Whether it be you investing, whether it be you on stocks and shares, whether it be you own your own business, whether it be like whatever it is, just keep doing it. You might not get appreciation and might not get the things that you want immediately or straight away, but we're gonna have to start building, sharing knowledge and sharing wisdom.